A fully cooked, piping hot, and perfectly seasoned 3-pound rotisserie chicken for just $5 at Costco. It's so cheap that people joke I've got no money, but I can still afford that chicken. But here's the strange part. The cooked chicken is cheaper than raw chicken. So the question is, in a time of inflation skyrocketing operational costs, expensive labor, and soaring ingredient prices, how has a convenient meal like rotisserie chicken stayed at $5 for over 14 years? What exactly is Costco hiding? Let's take a closer look and uncover the truth. To understand the answer, let's rewind to the avian flu storm of 2015. A crisis that shook the entire poultry industry to its core, and in the midst of it, Costco stood out like an outlier. In early 2015, the United States didn't just endure a bitter winter, it also faced an invisible nightmare, the H5N2 strain of avian influenza. What began as a localized outbreak among poultry farms rapidly escalated into a national emergency, devastating an industry worth hundreds of billions of dollars. For the first time, Americans realized how fragile the entire supply chain really was. Retail giants like Kroger, Target, Walmart, and Sam's Club quickly responded by raising the prices of chicken eggs and other poultry products. Walmart issued a short statement. "We're doing everything we can to maintain supply, but rising input costs and operating expenses make price adjustments necessary." In other words, customers would have to pay more. Meanwhile, smaller chains and local stores couldn't even stock enough chicken to meet demand. Panic buying and hoarding swept across the country, creating a nationwide shortage of rotisserie chicken. Economic analysts began warning that consumers were entering a new era, one where they would start favoring brands that offered not just good pricing, but stability and trust. And that's when Costco broke the pattern. While the rest of the industry scrambled to print new price tags, Costco quietly held the line: rotisserie chicken, still $4.99. No press releases, no flashy ad campaigns, no public announcements. Just this yesterday, $4.99 today, still $4.99. That silence rang louder than any commercial, a bold declaration. We're not like the others. Shoppers began sharing their $4.99 chicken stories on TikTok, Reddit, and forums across the internet. Some even posted photos of receipts showing rotisserie chicken, $4.99, as if to prove that somewhere out there prices hadn't betrayed them yet. Later, when asked about it, Costco CFO Richard Galanti admitted bluntly the company sacrifices around $30 to $40 million in gross profit every year just to keep the price the same. A number that would make any shareholder raise an eyebrow. But for Costco, it wasn't a loss, it was an investment in customer trust, and they believed it would pay off in the long run. Costco wasn't selling chicken. They were selling a stable shopping experience, a quiet commitment, and a bold reassurance that said, "When everything else changes, we're still here." No neon signs, no loud promotions. Just a rotisserie chicken sitting quietly on a hot tray carrying the weight of an entire brand philosophy. It wasn't about flavor. It wasn't about nutrition.
And this is the gray zone where consumers are almost always on the wrong side. Of course, not every item is a trick, but most of what we call compare at pricing plays more of a psychological role than an economic one. It makes you feel like you're shopping smart, like you sealed the deal, while others out there are still being fooled. And that feeling of winning is actually the real product you've bought. So the question is, if a product is truly cheap and worth buying, why does it need a made-up price next to it to make you feel good? You start believing the feeling instead of checking the facts. You see compare at $79.99, but you don't ask who sold it for that. Where when? When TJ Maxx prints. Compare at on a price tag. They're not presenting proof. They're presenting a script. For a few seconds, you become the main character in a story of smart shopping, and you believe you've outsmarted the system, when in fact you've just been nudged along by a phrase that never needed to prove itself. And if price comparison is just an illusion, what else is making you think you're shopping, right? The answer lies in the very moment you step into the store. 8. You didn't pick the wrong item, you just picked the wrong day. On weekends, TJ Maxx feels like a modern-day bazaar. Carts clatter, aisles are packed, and the vibrant energy makes you feel like you're taking part in a joyful shopping ritual. But for those who understand how this system really works, they quietly stay away from these emotional peak hours, because that's exactly when all the best items are already gone. Insiders know the good stuff, right? Size in season, properly tagged. Doesn't wait until Saturday to hit the shelves. It shows up quietly, midweek, usually on Tuesday morning or Wednesday afternoon, depending on its leftovers. Mismatched shirts, shoeboxless shoes, items that have been tried, returned, wrinkled, and shuffled. You think you're hunting for markdowns, but really you're just sorting through what others already passed on. Smart shoppers don't come when TJ Maxx is busiest. They come when it's quietest. Not just to avoid crowds, but because they know timing alone can shape the entire shopping experience. A mispriced designer bag might sit quietly on a shelf at 10 a.m. Tuesday and be gone by 2 p.m. the same day. A trendy coat may arrive in a batch of 4, and the first person through the doors can walk away with both sizes they need. There are no sirens, no flash. Sale signs, just people who know the golden hour and act with. But they also won't tell you when the new stuff hits. They just leave traces for those sharp enough to see them. Smart shopping isn't just about picking the cheapest thing. It's about picking the right moment before anyone else even knows it's there. But you think strategy only applies to timing. Think again, because there's one aisle where TJ Maxx is quietly turning pet owners into VIPs, and most of them don't even know it. 7. The pet aisle. This is something even TJ Maxx doesn't talk about enough because they don't need to advertise what real shoppers already whisper to one another. The pet section here is one of the best kept secrets, and if you've ever wasted money on toys that get shredded within 10 minutes, you'll understand why. You walk in expecting random odds and ends, but instead you see orthopedic pet beds, chew toys made of rubber 5 times more durable, soft leather collars with boutique-like designs, and heavyweight skid-proof food bowls, all for 1/3 of the price you'd pay at Petco or PetSmart. What's even more surprising, many TJ Maxx locations allow you to bring your pet with you, which means your dog can try the bed on the spot. Try finding a pet store that does that, and you'll realize the difference isn't just about price, it's about the experience. This isn't a section of rejects or factory seconds. Many items come from the same brand still sold through official channels. The only difference is that here they're mixed into the discount racks, not lit up on a shelf under a boutique spotlight. That's why experienced pet owners make TJ Maxx a regular stop. They're not shopping for what looks fancy. They're looking for what survives.
In just 6 months, more than 27 states.
Yet it's the clearance section, the place everyone thinks is a treasure hunt, that's actually where more people are being misled without even knowing it. 6. Not all discount tactics are the same. You know the feeling when you step into the clearance section. Your eyes immediately lock onto those bright red stickers. Every item seems to whisper, "Hurry," before someone else grabs it. You bend down, dig through piles, but after 10 minutes, you realize you're not really shopping anymore. You're diving through a battlefield of items that were already rejected by someone else. At TJ Maxx, the clearance zone isn't the bargain, heaven you imagine. It's cramped, disorganized, and often a mess. Clothes are wrinkled, missing tags, sometimes not even sorted by size. And the worst part, your expectations are usually much higher than the actual value of the item in your hand. You think you're hunting a sale? But in truth, you're going up against a system that has already removed the good stuff, leaving you the leftovers to dig through as part of the game. Meanwhile, the clearance section on TJ Maxx's official website is an entirely different experience. No crowds, no messy piles, no refolding after someone else. You can filter by size, color, material, and price. The item, smart shoppers don't avoid clearance. They just don't let the chaos fool them. They know that a wrinkled $10 shirt that makes you feel like you've survived a battle isn't a victory. It's exhaustion, packaged in a paper bag. If you're tired of fighting over shirts with missing tags, mismatched socks, or button-up shirts with misaligned seams while pretending to be satisfied, maybe it's time to leave the arena. Create an account, grab a free shipping code, and let the website do the bargain hunting for you. And if you think discounted is the final price, get ready to be surprised. Because there's one trick almost no one uses, but it can save you even more. Right at the checkout, 5. You can negotiate and TJ Maxx won't stop you. No, this isn't a weekend flea market. It's not Craigslist. And it's definitely not the kind of place where you haggle over every cent. But if you know how to spot the hidden windows built into TJ Maxx's system, you'll understand. Yes, you absolutely can negotiate, and they're willing to listen. The trick lies in the irregular label, one of the most overlooked signs yet highly sought after by savvy shoppers. It usually appears on items with small flaws, a scratch on a mirror frame, a missing button, a slightly dented box. It's an opportunity to name your price. No hardball needed, no drawn-out argument, just a simple, polite question asked at the right moment. This one has a small flaw. Would it be possible to get a little more off? And more often than not, the cashier will nod. TJ Maxx doesn't advertise this, but their system allows employees to apply manual discounts on slightly defective items because they understand if a product isn't perfect, the price should reflect that. If you're unsure about trying, start small. A chipped picture frame, a pillow with a loose thread, a table lamp with a scuff near the base. That first moment when they knock a bit more off, it'll stay with you. Not because of the savings, but because you'll realize you just unlocked a layer of consumer power you thought only insiders had. The key is simple. Ask. You're simply requesting something reasonable based on something visibly true. And if TJ Maxx is open to listening, the only real mistake is staying silent. But asking is just the beginning. Because sometimes the mistake isn't about the flaw in the product. It's about thinking you found a deal. 4. Beware the bedding aisle. You spot it from afar, no set at all, just a single item. Likely a leftover remnant from a long discontinued collection. And it's not your fault. It's how TJ Maxx operates. They bring in overstock, cut pieces, and orphaned items, especially at the home goods section. That means when you find something you like, chances are it's the only one. No duplicates, no restocks, no way to complete the look. You return the next week, not just off the shelf, gone from the entire system. What you were trying to complete was never a full collection. It was a stray piece lost in a sea of surplus. A light brown pillow, a cool beige duvet, a charcoal gray sheet. You convince yourself is a bold, moody tone, and then you lie down each night staring at a patchwork bedroom that looks more like... Don't get it wrong if you're just looking for a throw to cover the sofa or a decorative pillow for your reading chair. This aisle might be perfect. But if what you're after is a complete bedding... 3. The price tag isn't just a price, it's a code. If you've ever strolled past rows of merchandise at TJ Maxx without paying close attention to the color of the price tags, then chances are you've missed the store's most important hidden signal. Because here, price isn't just a number. It's a coded system created for those who know how to read the system in reverse. TJ Maxx doesn't scream, "Buy now," with flashing lights. Instead, and if you've never noticed them before, now is the time to start. White tags mean new items, full price, no discounts, no special incentives. If you don't fall in love with it, at first glance, you're better off moving on. Red tags mean first markdown. Somewhat tempting, but not the final drop.
The issue isn't just about cost. It's about the creeping feeling that you're no longer in control of your everyday shopping. You walk into the store hoping to save money, but after 15 minutes, you feel like you're being led around redesigned packages. Smaller volumes, hollowed out combos, but the price stays the same. And suddenly, you're spending time chasing down a truth that they're afraid of being manipulated. And that fear doesn't just cause irritation, it destroys trust. Walmart used to be where you went to feel safe during uncertain times. But now those familiar shelves make you feel watched, misled, and sometimes betrayed. When shoppers need a magnifying glass just to review a receipt. When a simple dinner turns into a... And when trust collapses, it doesn't break. Piece by piece, it slides off the shelf, vanishes from the cart, and leaves the consumer's heart quietly but permanently. Reason number 2, when shopping turns into an invisible... You no longer go to Walmart just to shop. You go there to test your patience. From the moment you push your cart through the entrance to the second you leave the checkout area. Today's consumers are facing a strange kind of exhaustion, not from crowds, not from rising prices, but from having to do the store's job for them. Self-checkout kiosks, once seen as convenient, instead of saving time, customers must scan items themselves, enter produce codes, select. It may seem like just barcode scanning, but new studies from Consumer Reports show that customers who regularly use self-checkout under low support conditions experience stress and elevated blood pressure. 7 times higher than those used. In many cities, community groups have sent formal petitions urging Walmart to stop fully replacing checkout lanes with kiosks. During peak hours, one letter reads, "This is no longer about technology. It's silent exclusion of our grandparents. People who stayed loyal to this store for 30 years are now being forced to face a touch screen, a QR code. It comes from the loss of control, the loss of humanity in what should have been a welcoming experience." One employee shared, "We get hundreds of complaints every day. They're not mad at us. They're mad because they no longer feel like customers." In February 2020, a viral video showed a group of customers stuck for nearly 30 minutes at a Walmart in Montgomery, Alabama. A leaked internal report revealed Walmart is facing a sharp increase in inventory losses linked to self-checkout systems, not just due to technical glitches, but due to a deeper issue, a breakdown in trust. Some locations have Meanwhile, competitors are going another way. Sam's Club, Walmart's own subsidiary, is testing AI systems that scan entire carts in seconds. The question now isn't, does it'll come from the quiet exhaustion of the very customers they once called loyal.
Dollar has dropped by more than half. Pork prices have tripled and in-store operating costs have nearly doubled. No one in the business world can explain this using conventional economic models.
But with every piece of fried chicken, every slice of bread, every packet of sauce you unconsciously consume, you are also taking in substances that many countries have wiped from their menus for being too dangerous. Ingredients deemed unsafe for children in Japan, too non-transparent for European consumers, and too unethical to remain in circulation in Canada are still being served daily in the United States, without warning labels, without alternative options, and without a single apology. What makes it even more ironic is this: consumers have no right to choose if they are not given the right to know. From TBHQ in frying oil, propylparaben in apple pies, ADA in buns, BHA in sauces to inorganic phosphates in McChicken. This is not a coincidence. It is a system deliberately built to maximize profits, willingly trading off consumer health and hiding it behind the It has become a delicate game between what is allowed to be disclosed and what is kept hidden under the justification of no need to know. But the most frightening thing is not the list of additives. It is the repetition. When these items are consumed over and over across years, across generations, they are no longer exceptions. They become the norm. And when danger becomes normal, that is when you must start questioning, because the right to eat is yours, but the right to know, that is something they will never voluntarily hand over. Have you ever noticed these ingredients in your meals? Share your thoughts below and stay tuned for the next part, where other giants of the food industry will continue to be exposed.
And if you add a side of mashed potatoes, cinnamon rolls, or some deep-fried appetizer. Congratulations! You've just consumed 2 days' worth of sodium in one dinner. Regular consumption of such foods can lead to health problems like high blood pressure and heart disease. Kids' meals aren't as light as you think. The mini cheeseburgers on the kids' menu have 670 calories. 36 grams of fat. The deliciousness they're selling you isn't just spice, it's overkill. You used to think, I'm healthy. Eating a little salt is fine. But if you are an office worker, have little exercise, and have a family gene for high blood pressure, this is no joke. Many dishes at Texas Roadhouse are heavily seasoned, sweet, salt. Maybe you are betting your health on the drinking table. Texas Roadhouse is known for its hearty food. But if you're looking for Caesar salad with grilled chicken, a nutritious, fat-free choice. When thinking about salad, many people may worry about this dish not being filling enough. However, the Caesar salad with grilled chicken from Texas Roadhouse is a great choice. Grilled chicken not only provides a large amount of protein for the body, but also very little saturated fat compared to fried chicken dishes. Combined with fresh green vegetables, this salad also helps you add fiber, vitamins, and minerals, supports digestion, and helps the body stay healthy. If you are a lover of fresh food but do not want to eat too much starch, this salad will be an ideal choice. Steamed broccoli, a vitamin-rich, low-calorie side dish. There's no denying that broccoli is one of the healthiest vegetables around. Known for its high vitamin C, vitamin K, and antioxidant content, steamed broccoli at Texas Roadhouse is a simple yet nutritious dish. In fact, steamed broccoli is not only low in calories but also rich in fiber, helping you feel full for a long time without having to worry about accumulating excess fat. This is the ideal side dish. Grilled salmon. Easily add omega-3 to your body. Salmon is always a great choice for those who want to add omega-3 fatty acids to their diet. Omega-3 plays a very important role in maintaining heart health and reducing inflammation.